Okay guys, welcome officially to our quick review of Pokemon Scarlet. When I do a quick review on my YouTube channel, it's just a bite-sized, off-the-cuff thought process of a game that I think that you guys might enjoy hearing my thoughts on. So, a full year after launch, it's been a long time since this game came out, but I was actually baffled by how many people, when playing through this game from the chat, were argumentative about whether they liked or disliked the game. When Pokemon Scarlet came out, there was a mountain of negative press, but as always, new Pokemon games do what they do best and smashed all prior records. So when I came into Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I didn't expect it was going to be that great. In the beginning, I was actually enjoying myself way more than I thought I was going to, so I'll give Scarlet and Violet a thumbs up for that. The performance in the game is absolutely and unapologetically terrible. Now, I know there's a lot of counter-arguments to this where people who really enjoyed the game said, well, the game, doesn't have to run at 60 FPS for it to be fun. Although I agree that that is true, this is taking the piss. I think that Game Freak know and have known for a long time that people are going to buy their games regardless, and I do think they use that to their advantage. I'm not saying that you have to hate the game because of the performance, but don't accept it as the norm. As for the region of Paldea, I really enjoyed running around in this open world. Very similar to Arceus, you've got a lot of freedom in where you go and what route you can take. We had a very kind of erratic pattern to this game, and although I did enjoy the freedom of choosing where to go in the adventure, there's a couple of other things we have to comment about inside of the discussion. Absolutely loved this area. I loved the setting of this region. I thought the tropical start to the game was very different to what we normally get in a Pokemon game. Normally you start in the woods, starting on a beach and at the seaside, and going to school was quite unique. Going to school, joining the academy, I feel like it was underutilized, truly. It was like you turned up at your first day at school for them to tell you, okay, your project is to go out on an adventure, and then it became a regular Pokemon game. Like I said, I don't want to be trapped in the school all the time, but I do feel like they underused that. The biomes and the world that they've created, although again the graphics are nowhere near close to what they should be, it was nice to explore Paldea and roam around and catch Pokemon in the wild. Obviously, you've got all of your normal stuff in the game. You've got your desert, you've got your snow mountains, you've got your fields, your swamps, pretty much everything you could want. I'm glad that that was all in there, and I do think that the vision for Pokemon Scarlet Violet, this map that you've got to explore, is another step towards giving the fans a Pokemon game that they truly deserve. It's just a shame that one, the game looks like ass, and two, it performs even worse. If Game Freak has more time or more staff or more budget, I don't know what they need, but if they actually take some effort to make the game look better and perform better, this game could have been very, very good. Again, just my opinion, I'm not saying people have to agree with me, but the story of this game was fine. A lot of people said that they felt like for a Pokemon game, this one had some cool points. Particularly, everybody seems to love the story with Arvin and his dog. It wasn't really until the post-game that the story actually had any kind of level of depth. I thought that was kind of cool. The time traveling angle was interesting, but again, it was a bit kind of tacked on at the end. They did make an extra effort with the story, I feel. I'll leave it up to you guys to discuss that a bit more in detail in the comments. We need to talk about the geography of the map and how it all threads together, because obviously when you've got an open world game, there comes into question some new challenges for them. If you have an open world game, you need to fill it with challenging content that's exciting to engage with, and you often need somewhat of a loose route through the game to at least keep your players on some sort of organised path. Sometimes in this game it felt like that was the case, and then sometimes it felt weird. What I mean is, obviously, when you start in the school, you can go left or right. You're given the choice immediately by Nimona and Arvin. Do you want to go look for the Titans? Do you want to go and do the Victory Road challenges? And the choice is cool, but obviously we found points where we were going like left, right, because obviously from top to bottom, the levels of the Pokemon in this map scale the higher you go to the north. What we found is we were kind of going to the left, and then we went to the right and did some of this stuff, and then we came back over here, and everything was smooth until we got to Larry. And then once we defeated Larry, we started kind of continuing kind of clockwise round the map. And then we got to the Snow Mountain, and we were kind of finding ourselves a little bit out of our depth suddenly. And there was this kind of weird feeling where I was constantly trying to question, like, is this a good route to go? And it was never hard, but I was always second guessing myself at that point, like whether this was like sensible or not. And I feel like if you have an open world map, having this kind of circular system, I'm not sure it really totally works perfectly. It's not bad, and it's cool that they tried the open world. I'm glad that they're innovating that. I think that that's where they should go. I'm just not sure they've got it perfect yet. There was a couple of nice additions to this game that I would like to quickly point out as well. This is our kind of final squad that we had. This might not be a novelty for Scarlet and Violet, but I really liked that you could chop and change your Pokemon into the box on the fly. The AoE shared XP is a controversial topic, but I quite enjoyed that that was there. I do still think, though, that the game should give you the choice to turn that on or off. And the only reason I say this is because sometimes the game felt too easy, especially in the beginning. I think the EXP share does trivialize a lot of the challenges in these modern games, and although this game was more challenging than Sword and Shield in my opinion, it still lacked sometimes. And I feel like although they're trying to make the game straightforward for the younger generation of like kids, I do wish that it wasn't the case that as someone who's played these games for a long time, the games almost lack excitement in a way because you never really have to build a tactical team in order to win. I like in this game that you can make TMs from the TM machines and the Poke Centers. Not sure I love the idea of your TMs being one use only. Obviously, the cool thing is that you can recreate them, so that was fine. Finding TMs all over the map is a topic that is obviously new to the modern Pokemon games. I'm not sure if I love that. When you're roaming around, it gives you something to do, finding the yellow kind of glistening TMs. That's fine, but I don't know if I love this idea of like these modern Pokemon games just being like items scattered everywhere. You're adding this whole overabundance of loot where it's almost like overstimulating the player with like free rewards everywhere you go. And although that means that you've got plenty of stuff for your RPG experience, it also negates the importance of money in the game. I've got 200,000 LP points and I've got 500,000 of Pokecoins. I didn't really buy anything in this game other than Pokeballs. And I feel like part of the problem with that is because you find your loot all over the place. You just find you find items everywhere. There will be other things that I'll think of after I finish this review, but basically that's my thoughts of Pokemon Scarlet Violet. An improvement on Sword and Shield, but performance and graphics do let this game down on a rather spectacular level. They definitely need to take more time, and it sounds like they are when they make the next installment. Another step towards progress in the Pokemon series. I'm not sure they're totally there yet. Instead of actually trumping evil organizations, now you're running around wrapping up school bullies. It just seems like quite a fall from grace. I am keen on the idea of the open world. I hope they continue to work on it and hone it down. Scarlet was better than I thought it was going to be, but it does deserve the criticism it gets. If you guys enjoyed it, that's awesome. I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to. You can let me know your thoughts and whether you agree or disagree with me. I'd be happy to know. But yeah. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching. Leave me a comment for your thoughts. Leave me your review of my review and shoot me a like. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.